All right, you guys, welcome back to Total Dialysis. My name is Clancy Mahmoud. I'm the creator of this channel, and I made another video for you guys. This one is about home dialysis treatment and the process and the steps. Previously, I made some before, but I felt like those videos were a bit more complicated than they needed to be, and I decided to make another one for you that I felt like was easier to understand. So, of course, I'll be your commentary, and let's get into it. Prep for treatment. So the very first thing we're going to do is wash our hands, and this is always important because cleanliness is next to godliness, and also you'll be dealing with your own blood, so that's pretty important. The next thing we're going to do is go to our treatment station, and of course this is my treatment setup in my room. All right, we're going to put on some gloves to make sure that we protect ourselves and our equipment. Even though we washed our hands, it's still important to make sure that you suit up in all the proper equipment. Prevention is the most important thing when it comes to anything dealing with blood, especially your own blood, because you don't want to be sick. So let's get our gloves on. The next thing we're going to do is lift up this handle, and we're going to reach back behind the cycler and turn on the cycler from there. All right, then the screen will flash, and then these numbers will come up. These numbers are specific to my machine. They won't necessarily be your numbers, but it's based on prescription that the doctor gives you. After that, you'll see these bars come up. This means it's ready. So I have a portable desk that I like to use. I usually set that up, and I'll put my saline bag on there and just go ahead and rip it, and then we're going to hang the saline bag up. One thing you want to make sure you do is always check the dates on these things, because sometimes they can be old. All right. The next thing we're going to do is load the cartridge. What you want to do is go ahead and check the date, and then you're going to open the bag on the side, and you're going to pull the cartridge out. And go ahead and remove all the little tapes and the clippings and the plastic extras on the cartridge that's going to get in your way. With these particular protectors, when you take them off, you want to go ahead and tighten in the tube right there to make sure that nothing leaks out, and they have those protectors there to remind you to tighten them again. When you get ready, this is your circulator. You're going to take that circulator and set it to the side. We're going to need it for later. Remove this plastic coating. And your cartridge should be about ready to go after that. So the next thing you want to do is take it and stretch the tubings out so that you get a little organized. After that, we're going to go ahead and set the cartridge inside the cycler. Now what you want to do is go ahead and stick them inside these little clips right here. These clips make sure that air does not get through inside your tube. So if any air gets inside there, they'll detect it, and they'll let you know that something is wrong. The whole machine will beep and go haywire. But that's important because you don't want any air inside your body. So put all three inside the clipping, put the tubes inside all three clippings, and your cartridge is ready to go. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and spike the saline bag. Okay. And the way we do that is we twist off the protection cap at the bottom of the bag. Then you're going to remove the cap off the needle of the cartridge tube. And go ahead and stick it in the bag in a twisting motion and push up firmly, but make sure that you do not puncture the bag, all right? So when you get done, the needle should be able to be seen ever so slightly at the bottom of the bag. After that, go ahead and attach your access pressure pod. This measures the pressure of your arterial. When you have those things set up, your cycler is ready and your cartridge is ready to be primed, which means to get all the air out of it. So the next thing you're going to do is press add fluid. And the moment you press that button, the cartridge will start pumping saline out of the saline bag through the cycler. The cycler will start pumping saline through the cartridge to clear the cartridge out of all the air that's inside of it. This will take about 23 to 30 minutes. As you can see, the air is coming out through right there. So now we're going to prep the dialysate. The first thing we're going to do is check our chloramines. We're going to need a cup. We're going to need a testing result paper that shows the results, and we're going to need a strip, a testing strip. I'm sorry, I forgot what this thing is called. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our PureFlow, all right? And our PureFlow is going to say check chloramines, remove the orange line. And it's exactly what you are going to do. You're going to remove the orange line right next to the control panel, all right? When you press the green button, it's going to dispense. Now, I fast forwarded this video a little bit so that it fills up faster, but it usually takes about a good 3 or 4 minutes for it to dispense all the fluid. So after your dialysate is done, go ahead and put the orange tubing back. Twist it tight. Then you're going to take a test strip. And you're going to dip it in the cup and wave it around back and forth for about 1 minute. All right? Then when you get done with that minute, fold the strip so that the yellow part folds, touches the back, so that the color is defined for you. And then you're going to match it up against your result paper to test the chlorines. All right, now the yellow means that it is clear and it's good to go. So you're going to press the green button until it says batch in use and it tells you an expiration date. You'll also hear a loud sound. You'll begin to see the dialysate course through the batch's tubes, moving the fluid around. And I forgot to do it in this video, but make sure you prime those tubes to get the air out of it. Gather supplies. So now we're going to get our supplies. First, you want to set down the underpad. We're going to use heparin. Don't forget your accept cleaner. Alcohol pads. Two 4x4 gauzes. Three 2x2 gauzes. And one extra for the sepsis. 3 empty syringes. We're going to have 2 full syringes. I got to fill one of them up with saline and a needle. Don't forget to get your gloves. Your dialysis needles. I forgot to get it, but don't forget your mask either. So go ahead and open up the 1 2x2 set aside. Now what you want to do is take your cleaner and pour it inside. This is just to clean our skin when it's time to stick ourselves. Make sure those pads are nice and wet. Then go ahead and put that back up. After that, we're going to get our heparin. So take 1 alcohol pad and clean off the top of the heparin. And again, this is just specifically for my materials, my supplies. You may have a different way of doing it, or you may even have a whole different set of supplies depending on what kind of treatment machine you're using. Okay? So here we're going to take an empty syringe and attach the needle to it. All right, after the heparin is drawn, put the cap back on the needle and set it aside. All right, let's take these needles out of their packages. All right, so after that, the cycler should be done priming the cartridge. You're going to see this full screen of 8s. Go ahead and press the mute button, and then the cycler will give you this screen right here, counting and alphabetically and numerically in order. Go ahead and press mute again, and then we are ready to snap the lines. Or we're going to snap the lines, which involves exactly what it looks like. You're going to grab the lines by 2 ends. You're going to snap really violently with your hands back and forth to shake all of the air out of it. All right. So make sure you get that air out of it. Next, go ahead and loosen the dialyzer and take it out of its wrappings. Take the tape and the paper off of it. Then go ahead and put it in this holder, all right? There are 2 tubings coming out of it, so make sure you prime those. You prime the top one, get the air out, and then you clamp it shut. Then at the bottom of the dialyzer, there is another tubing. Go ahead and prime this one also. have to get the air out of it. So make sure you gently knock it about. Don't do it too hard because you don't want it to crack. You don't want it to mess up. But just do it firmly enough to where the air comes out of it and continues on to the saline bag. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to start with the blue at the top of the cartridge, which is the blue clamp, which is also the venous tube. And you're going to go ahead and snap that one also. And if I didn't say it, when you start snapping, make sure you start with the red tubing, which is also the arterial line. Now that we're done snapping, we're going to press the stop button. As you see, the screen changes. It's ready for us to put in our weight and the rate of which the cycler will be taking the fluid off, all right? So the one thing you want to do is when you get the arterial line, go ahead and get the saline line that's attached to the arterial line and prime the saline line that's attached to the arterial line. It's the red clamp, it's a line with the red clamp and the little white clamp sticking out of the red clamp line. Put the safety back on it and then clamp the line. All right. And now we can go ahead and take our vitals. So I always encourage you to wear something light to dialysis, because the heavier you are, the more the scale is going to want you to take off, and that's not good for your heart. All right, so wear something light. Get on the scale. No, that's not bad. 76.7. I feel like it was more 77.2, but I'll take 76.7. So you get your weight, and then it's time to get your blood pressure. And one thing about blood pressure is that when you get on the machine, your blood pressure is automatically going to drop. All right, so you want to make sure your blood pressure is over 100 before you even start. All right, now I sped up the blood pressure machine because I wanted to see. I sped up the blood pressure machine here because I wanted to see my blood pressure. So 115 over 79. So we're good. Heart rate's a little high, but that's okay. So after we get that, let's get our sitting pressure. And once we get our pressures and our weight, then we're gonna go ahead and put them aside. I have a tablet from my company to keep up with my dialysis vitals. So make sure you record your pressures. Here, we're gonna start with the rate. So because I'm not taking off a lot, I'm gonna set my rate at 0.27 and my weight is going to be 0.5, I think. And again, this is according to my prescription. Your weight and your rates will always be different, so consult with your doctors on that. So it's time to go ahead and make all those connections finally. So go ahead and clamp everything. All the clamps. All the clamps. So after you clamp everything, go ahead and start making your connections. I usually start with my waistline, so the yellow goes to the yellow. Next, the green, which is the dialysate line, is connected to the white, which is the saline line. So go ahead and connect the green to the greens. Connect the white line to the arterial line with the saline line attached to it. The white to the white. When it comes to the dialysate, the batch that you made, you want to clamp the light green clamp and leave the dark green clamps alone, because those are all permanent clamps. You can't undo them. All right, so go ahead and connect the white to the saline axis on the arterial line. All right, after that, get your 2 empty syringes and get your recirculator. Go ahead, disconnect the blue and attach one syringe to the line attached to the saline bag, and attach your recirculator to the line going into the cycler. And since I started with the venous line, we'll move to the arterial line next and follow the same process. Then go ahead and hang your tubes up. All right, and looks like we're ready to go. Our supplies are set up, the machine is set up. All right, so on the next video, which I'm trying to put together, but it's not just me, it's also my partner, my wife. We're gonna go ahead and cannulate, and then we're gonna put me on a machine, and we're gonna take myself, well, she's gonna take me off, and we're gonna clean up. All that be part of the next video coming soon.